We have the wage board increasing minimum wage for workers in the National Capital Region by, get this, 25 pesos. Labor groups have long been batting for a wage adjustment, but now that it has finally come to pass, they're not happy campers. Dale De Vera tells us why.
Romy finds it hard to make ends meet with his minimum wage, especially with the higher prices of goods. He says he barely has any savings left after spending on food, rent, transportation, and other family expenses.
Kasi ako nagsushort pa rin talaga ako eh. Pangangailangan sa pang-araw-araw. Minsan, mangungutang na lang kami para matakpan yung pangangailangan namin.
On Monday, Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III announced a 25 peso increase in the daily pay of minimum wage earners in the National Capital Region. This means workers in the metro will be taking home 537 pesos per day, up from the current 512 pesos. But for Romy, the hike isn't enough.
Parang mahirap kasi ang baba eh. Sabi nila mataas, di ba? 300 plus yung idadagdag. Pamasahe nga namin kulang na eh. Yung 25 pesos, magkano yung kilo ng bigas ngayon? 1/4 nga lang yung mabibili ng 25 pesos, di ba?
The Associated Labor Union's Trade Union Congress of the Philippines earlier said they will file a petition seeking another pay hike. The group was earlier gunning to increase the daily minimum wage pay by 334 pesos. Bello, however, explains they also had to consider the employer's capacity to pay.
Sa fixing ng wage adjustment, hindi mo lang kino-consider kung sapat sa pangangailangan ng manggagawa. You have to consider other factors like yung ding capacity ng management or employers.
Other than this, the National Wages and Productivity Board also took into consideration that the higher wage hike could further drive inflation, thereby defeating the purpose of boosting workers' purchasing power.
If you will set the wage too high, it will cause so much pressure on inflation. Yun yung tinatawag din natin na cost push inflation, which we don't want to happen.
The Employers Confederation of the Philippines meanwhile pointed out that the labor code only provides for a 20 peso wage adjustment should inflation reach 5.2%. But despite the board's approval of the 25 peso hike, ECO President Ed Lacson assured workers that they will nevertheless implement the order. He has a reminder though, employers who can't afford the additional expense may file for a 1-year exemption. For News 5, Dale De Vera, we are One News.